recording. Welcome. All right, welcome everyone. This is the Fusionary Reset. So this is our weekly live where I get to dive into a topic around health so that we can all learn and grow together. Please comment below if you're here, say hello. I love seeing who's here and interacting with you guys. I also love knowing that I'm actually live on Facebook. As we know, sometimes that doesn't work as beautifully as we want. I'm going to jump on here and just triple confirm that I am live. Yes, I see it. Cool. Well, welcome. Let's talk today on the topic of detoxification. So oftentimes when people think of detoxing or purifying the body, you think of it as like a weight loss method, or you think of it as something you do real quick and then you go back to regular life. Or you think of it as a horrible punishment and a horrible thing that you have to suffer from. And then once you're done suffering, you can go back to normal life. And the thing is, detoxing is not easy. I agree with you. But it is something that is so good for us. And it's the body's opportunity. It's like really our gift to our body that allows our body to clear out what does not serve. And so I'd like to talk to you about detox, but also know that for those of you who are in the group who saw me share the Fusionary School and then share the Fusionary Method, we're going to be doing that again in January. So I'll be doing the Fusionary School in January, but when I launch the Fusionary Method, my intention there is to lead us through a real complete detox, like an Ayurvedic detox that'll really clear out the pathways, clear out the toxins in the body, reduce the inflammation in the body, really support our health in a profound way so that all of a sudden we feel clean and clear and energized and like brain fog and all that gone and ready to go on with the new 2021 year that I'm hoping looks like the 2020 we all dreamed of in just January, but that we've kind of adjusted to what life is or this normal or whatever this is that we're dealing with. And we're ready to kind of take on 2021 with a fresh energy and a fresh outlook and a fresh approach and fresh intentions. So just know that I love detoxing and I love the benefits. So let's dive in. In Ayurveda, which is an ancient system of health and healing from India that's over 5,000 years old, we recommend an annual detox that's 21 days. And ideally, we want you to do this at the intersection of seasons. So whether you do it between spring, summer, summer, fall, fall, winter, winter, spring, it's so important that you do it. That's an ideal time to do it, but you don't have to do it then. When it comes to detoxing, it's recommended that you do the full 21 days. If you have a known health issue in the body, something related to inflammation, something related to toxins in the body or the accumulation of toxins, then for you, it's even more important that you do the 21 days. If you're healthy and fine, you could probably get away with a 7-day. Just know that the ideal is the 21. And if you have the opportunity to detox at different points of the year to add up to 21, please do so. So sometimes that's my approach. I'll do 7 days here or there because that's what I can fit in rather than skipping over it completely. So right now in the Fusionary Method, I have about 20 women and many of them were like, I need a detox. Can you help me? Can you guide me? And so I built a detox into the program and they're doing it right now. We're in it. Today's Wednesday. We started on Monday. And I'm guiding them through the right kind of detoxing for them based on what their health struggle is. Now, when it comes to a detoxification, in Ayurveda, we call that panchakarma, and it has 5 different approaches to how we're going to detox the body. I visited a center in India. It's called Jindal Naturopathy Institute. And now we can't go to places like that. We can't travel to India. And so I was just doing an Ayurvedic consultation with a young woman. And I said, listen, you should consider going to like Maharishi Ayurveda or Dr. Ladd's center. There are places here in the US where you can go check in and do the detox. It's easier to go do an in-person detox than it is to try to do it from home. Is it possible from home? Absolutely. I do it all the time. But I find it's easier on you and you get a bigger, deeper result when you can go in person. Why? Because you're going to be giving up all those distractions around you. No TV, no spouse, no kids, no partner, whoever you're with, no work, no pantry full of food, fridges full of those foods that you might be sharing with others, no temptations, no friends inviting you to happy hour, all the things, right? You're just checked out and away and focusing on your health. And so that's why I'm a big, big, big fan of leaving, because I think that you really drive the result that you want. But if that's not going to work for you, totally fine. We can talk about the detox methods that you can use in home that are still very possible and very potent. Now, when I went to Jindal in India, they had us on a juice fast for the 21 days. We had juice fasting. We had a clear vegetable broth at the end of the day and different teas throughout the day as well. So typically when I juice fast, that's how I do a juice fast. They had us walking 5 miles a day, drinking 3 liters of water a day. We had multiple enemas, colonics. We had different types of rigorous massage that really mobilize like the fat cells and really all the cells of the body. We had castor oil packs on our stomach at night, again, to help with our digestion and all the different aspects of healing that we needed. We didn't really have mental health there as much. That probably would have helped. But we had lots of different self-care rituals and things like that were offered. I can't even remember the rest. Oh yeah, we had a morning plan of the Ayurvedic self-care rituals that I teach, the Nacharya. The Nacharya just means the morning rituals that you do for your health that are taught from Ayurveda. So they had us go in and use a tongue scraper, oil pulling, jal neti, which is running water through the nostrils of the nose, what we consider like basic hygiene. They had us doing every single day there, in addition to meditation and pranayama. Pranayama is deep breathing techniques. And then they did talks and lectures and spiritual talks to really work on our mind and our mental health. And so I share that with you because that's what I consider like the gold standard of detoxing, is you go to a place, you check in for 21 days. Now, what was their intention? They weren't a weight loss center. But what's interesting is they did have a lot of celebrities and people who came through there. And they would, like, you weren't allowed to bring contraband food in. You were only allowed to eat what was on property, on plan, and they would check your luggage. And if they found any contraband food, they'd just get rid of it. And so you were kind of feeling like you were in a jail because you were kind of stuck to the protocol and plan that you committed to. But I share that because it's so important to know why we're doing something. Let's talk about the intentions. So a lot of people showed up there or show up at any amazing spa, wellness, detoxification center for chronic disease. That's a big, big, big driver. Another amazing place that I've been to that I have shared with you guys is Hippocrates Health Institute. It's right here in West Palm Beach. I point as if you're like right here south of West Palm Beach like I am, but it's right here in West Palm Beach. It's local. It's actually known more internationally. So people from like France and Europe and all over show up there. But here in South Florida, most people don't know about it. And so I was invited as like a wellness influencer to go there and check out the property. And I was astounded. Like I loved it. I loved the energy of the place, the healing vibrations that I felt there. I love the intention. As an Ayurvedic practitioner, I didn't love that it was all raw, cold, and juicy. But there's ways to work around that. You can add in teas and do things that are warming while still benefiting from the protocol that they have in place. And so I actually went there with my family for 21 days about 2 years ago because I wanted to really reverse my mom's diabetes and the issues that she had. And I needed the support of like a whole center. I couldn't do it myself. I knew she wasn't going to listen to me that much. And so we went there, we checked in for 21 days and it was amazing. We did juice fasting, wheatgrass twice a day. We were walking miles every day. They have a program called Healthy Weight Loss Academy. So they make you move like 2 hours a day and they want you to move 2 more. All the lectures, we did the colonics. They include mental health sessions because they know detoxing and releasing things is also related to our mental health. They had different massage services. They wanted to really reduce the stress in the body and help you get to a cellular level of turning the body around. And then they had lots of sprouts in the bar and different things like that. And it was also an amazing detox. So if you want to stay local, I love that place. And you can even visit for lunch one day just to go check it out and understand what they're about and take a tour. And I find that's kind of the best way to ease in and understand what that place is about. If any of you guys are interested, my friend Lauren is amazing. And she's the one who arranged my tour and so many of my friends' tours there. But I share that to say that there's different reasons to detox. So a lot of people show up at Hippocrates because they have chronic diseases. They have chronic long-term diseases. They have issues and health issues that no one's been able to help with. They're kind of at their last door when it comes to their health. Or they've got so many issues that no one's going to deal with it, whether it's like Lyme disease, fibromyalgia, an autoimmune condition that like people have already tried to unpack and they haven't been able to really get to an equilibrium with it. Then there's people who are just there to lose weight. I just wanted to lean out a bit and clean out a bit. I was there for preventive. I was not there for really an active problem that I had that I wanted to deal with. And even weight loss is a good reason to detox, because sometimes we know when our bodies are carrying on a little bit of extra, and that extra is taking a toll. For me, when my weight swings up by 10 pounds, I get more neck and shoulder pain because I'm more front loaded, or my back hurts more in the gym because I'm carrying extra weight throughout the front of my body. Or my knees hurt or hips or joints hurt because it's just excess weight on the body. I mean, I did a talk once where I shared that an extra pound on the body is like an extra 4 pounds of force on our knees. And that's why when you go to an orthopedic surgeon, if you have pain, they're going to be like, lose some weight. They say that to everybody. And it's one of those things where we know that excess fat on the body puts us into an inflammation cycle. We're inflamed, we're holding on to excess weight. We have this excess weight, it's causing inflammation. And then we're in a cycle again and again with that. And so it's about, what are you going to do to break the cycle? Are you going to take some time, reduce stress, reduce inflammation, clear out the toxins of the body that might be stored in our cells, really like reduce everything down, clean it out? That's what the whole point of detoxification and purification is. Clean it out. And so I love teaching sleep and self-care and how to reduce inflammation. I think that these things are really like the cornerstones of having great health. But I also think that annually it's so important to take the time to detox. Now, when I guide people on detoxing, the hardest part is staying consistent with it, right? Whether you choose to detox by doing a juice fast, which I love juice fasting in normal years. In this year, it's been really hard for me to hold on to a juice fast because 2020 feels like one of those years where you're in the ocean and the waves just keep coming and they keep throwing you off the course, right? You're just like, I'm just trying to get from A to B, and boom, the ocean comes through the middle and wrecks everything. Like, for example, Diwali just got canceled. And Diwali is this weekend. Like, oh my gosh. And it's one of those years where you have to like make peace with it, mourn it, and keep moving on. But juice fasting is a good one. Now, when I juice fast, I don't just juice fast. It is juice plus get better sleep, plus more self-care, plus hydration, plus teas. I love tea, and no one's taking away my green tea. So I keep my green tea with honey, even in a juice fast. It's soup broths, vegetarian soup broths. Figure out what you want to do. Sometimes I'll buy faux soup from a restaurant and have just the water part because it's so yummy. And so it's just about, what can you do that keeps that cleanse or process easy for you? I find that, can I straight up juice fast? Yeah. Am I a nice human? No. And so just to stay a happy mom, just to stay sane and like capable of talking nicely to humans after 8 o'clock, sometimes I add in teas and these soups because then I'm like, okay, I feel settled. I feel more warm and comforted and settled in my body. And thus I'm okay with expanding even longer. So I remember the first time I did a juice cleanse, I was just going for 7 days. But by 7, all of a sudden things really shift after like day 4. You feel lighter in the body. The brain feels cleared out. Like for me, I'm on day 10 right now of a detox. Let me explain to you how I feel. I'm happy. I'm at peace. I have no space for anyone's drama or stuff. Like I'm here. There's no extra. There's no room for everyone's stuff, granted. But as a person who's right here, I feel cleaner. My sense of smell is really strong, oddly. When I eat or drink something that's a little like pesticide or has some residues, I can taste it. I can tell like that thing is not so clean. That thing is not so good. So it's interesting how it changes your awareness and your senses. My sleep is incredible. I'm sleeping perfectly with no help. Like last night I forgot, I was too tired to make deep sleep tea. But even just as is, I slept beautifully. And I had been using deep sleep tea and deep sleep formula pretty frequently to get good sleep last week because I wasn't well. Um, I have the energy to work out, and there's just no barriers. I don't know how to explain it. You just feel lighter and cleaner. I love this feeling. And I know it's going to be interesting when I have to like really transition back to normal life and food. And I know I'm going to start putting that stuff in at different holidays or parties or whatever, and it's going to gunk up the system. And so I'm going to try to avoid that as much as possible because I love this feeling in my body. I know that this is me on the track to health. And what I find is when you're detoxing, you're turning off those switches of inflammation, and weight gain and all those things that had been turned on. And so for me, it's like I'm on this right path now, just stay on it. And then when it comes to detoxing, it's really important to know your why. So if your why is not big enough, you're not going to stay with it and you're going to fall off the horse. There's too much temptation out there. There's also too much relying on food for comfort, and we're in a challenging year. There's food as a crutch, food as an addiction. There's so many reasons why we eat, and I'm not going to get into all of those reasons, but a lot of us reach to food when we're stressed or when we need to feel better or comforted. And it's not always the healthiest foods. So that's a big part of why I teach tea time is me time. Pick up the tea, not the food, not the chocolate, not the nachos, and not the wine, right? And tea can get you out of that bind most of the time. But what helps more is if you can do a 7-day detox, all of a sudden your reliance or your tongue's craving of those foods or your gut bacteria's craving of sugar and those things melts away. And then it's easier to keep healthy habits. Whenever I decide to start a weight loss program or a diet or any new plan in my life, I don't do it cold turkey because the tongue is still craving what it's craving. My gut bacteria is still wanting all the sugar and breads and things I was eating. So the only way to like cut a line between before and after is to detox. So that's another good reason to do it. So if you had to think right now about your why, share with me what you would do. Like, what would be your why for a detox right now? Think of it and comment below with it, and share with me also in the comments, have you ever done a detox? What kind of detoxing have you done? Have you ever done a juice fast? Have you gone to an amazing detox center around the world and had the experience of a detox and seen what it could do for you? I'm trying to triple check that I'm still live on Facebook. I like to know that I'm still there. I don't know. Let's see. Let's click on Facebook. Refresh. I think I'm still here because it says I'm still live. But yeah, so note that down. I know some of my reasons are if it's post-surgery and I want to clear out any of the drugs that were put in my body, that's a good reason to detox. Or if I'm feeling sluggish and tired and I don't know why, that's a good reason to detox. There, I'm in here, cool. Or if we're in a pandemic and I gained a few pounds and now I'd like to fit in my current closet. I don't want to have to go buy new clothes. That's a good reason to detox. Or if you have a wedding or a party or a function or a holiday coming up that matters to you, that's a good reason to detox. You have an inflammatory condition and nothing else is working. It's a good reason to detox. You have an autoimmune condition and you know that to take the time to detox now would be the best gift you can give yourself. It's a good reason to detox. There's a myriad reasons. There's many reasons to do it. It's just about finding your why. In my case, my 40th birthday is coming up in the first week of December, and I just wanted to fit in my closet. That was my reason. I was like, you know what? I own cool clothes. I like them, and I'd like to fit in them again. I don't want to have to buy new ones. And I put that as my goal, and I was like, you're not quitting this time. You're going to win. You're going to finish. You have 21 days. Let's go. And so I started. Now, even once I started, I totally got hungry one night and ate popcorn. And then I was like, oh, that's not on your detox. You're in a juice cleanse, honey. You weren't supposed to do that. And then I was like, okay, you're forgiven. Move on. You don't have to give up the whole 21-day period you just committed to over a little faux pas, like a little mistake that you made. It's okay. Come back to center. Are you committed? Yeah. Okay. Then keep going. Just keep going right along. We don't have to call it failure, fall off the horse, castrate ourselves, call ourselves dumb, and oh my God, and I'm a failure. I mean, we don't have to do any of that. You don't have to get into drama. Just recommit and keep going down your path. And I find that that's a big part of detoxing is people fall off and then they're like, oh, but I quit. It didn't work. You have to give it a chance. You have to get through 7 days or 14 days for it to do all of its jobs. And even 7 days can be beneficial. I can feel after 7 days, I benefited. And so once my 7 days of juice fasting was done, I could tell by the 8th day, I was like, I really want food. I want food. I want to be able to like work and focus and work a full day and not have to accommodate this like well, not tiredness, but this like lack of oomph in my energy. And so I shifted. I was like, all right, you're fully plant-based, nothing processed, no bread, no rice, nothing that's processed anywhere. It has to be a straight up plant. Okay, so that's what I'm doing now. And then after about 7 days of that, I'll probably shift again. I'll ease myself gently back towards the goal. Now, typically, when I guide people to do a detox, can you guess the top 5 inflammatory foods that I ask people to give up? Comment below and share with me. What do you think are the top 5 most common inflammatory foods? And then if you can think on it, share with me what you think are like the next couple common inflammatory foods in the system based on how they're processed, how they're made, or just how our system receives them nowadays because of whatever reason. Take a minute, do that, and then I'll share with you guys what they are. Cool. I'm going to trust you've written them in there. So I'm going to check here too to see if there's comments. Yeah, I see 10 comments. Good job, guys. Triple check that I'm still cool. Because of I see you guys. Oh, my why is to continue getting rid of inflammation and losing weight. I love that. Good one. Chronic bloating. That's another good one. How do you not have the noise but still have the viewing ships? Okay. Good job. Thank you for sharing your why. And I'm glad you thought of it. And now when it comes to the top 5 inflammatory foods, sugar, dairy, alcohol, meat, gluten. Top 5 most common inflammatory foods. Most people don't know this, but I work for Canyon Ranch in the Berkshires. It's an amazing spa where you can also detox. And at Canyon Ranch, we, while I was there, Dr. Mark Hyman was there. He was a teacher, he was a doctor, and he discovered and wrote about this in his book, Ultra Wellness, that if you just give up gluten and just run a test on yourself about if gluten is what you're intolerant to, you could discover that there's like 10 issues you're dealing with and struggling with in your body, and they all get cured by giving up gluten. And he did that on so many patients at the ranch. People would come into Canyon Ranch all the time. I was in a department called program coordinating, and people would come in always struggling with their health, like big health problems, just hoping to like reboot, reset. And I just remember learning that little but really big thing from him. And I think it was a couple of years ago now that my sister and I ate gluten one day. We were in Houston, we went to brunch with my mom, and she ordered like all the things, the croissants and I don't even know what they're called anymore because I don't eat those foods. It's like a big white puffy thing and people put eggs in it. I don't know what you call that. Anyway, we got home. We had eaten clean, eaten eggs and eaten healthy for the breakfast. But once we got home, we were a little like munchy and the whole box was there of fluffy white carbs and donuts. And we were like, just a few bites. We had a few bites. And then we went to like one of my favorite furniture stores in Houston just to go look at art and furniture and see if we could find anything cool for my house. I think I had just moved into this home, and I'll never forget. She's like, do you feel tired? I was like, yeah, I feel real tired. She's like, let's just sit down a minute. So we both sat down like on a couch. Oops, that was my head. We sat down on a couch in the store and just kind of like dozed off. Like we couldn't, almost like someone had drugged us, like someone had given us NyQuil. And I'll never forget that day. She goes, this is called a gluten coma. Like, this is like glutinous. This is what gluten does to you. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, gluten can't be that bad. What are you saying? And literally it made us sleepy, exhausted, tired, brain fog, unable to function. It's almost like you would put glue in the system. Have you guys ever seen that movie? It was like a Steven Spielberg movie where the little robot kid eats spinach and it just gets like all gunked up in the system. Imagine that that's what gluten can do to some of you, not all of you. Not everyone is gluten intolerant. But I invite you to try a full 7 days without gluten or sugar or dairy or meat or alcohol and see how it supports you. See if your body gets this like huge break and starts to feel better. In January, I'm going to invite y'all to go whole hog with me and really give up all the junk and really clear out the system. But I'm going to give you some tools. We're going to talk about radical self-care. We're going to have a diet and menu in place that's a recommendation. Khichdi is a great food to start pre-detoxing. So you can pre-detox by 7 days, then detox. And then there's like the re-entry diet that one should be on to gently re-enter towards foods. But what's beautiful is when you start a re-entry, you can do so one new food at a time, really paying attention. So I remember one year I detoxed and all of a sudden I ate a pineapple and my lips felt tingly. And I was like, what is that? Why do my lips feel weird? And then I was like, oh, pineapple doesn't suit me. I don't feel great. So what's really awesome about doing a detox is it's so educational to yourself and proves to you yourself what foods you should not eat. Because I can sit here all day and say, hey guys, you should give up the inflammatory foods. You don't want to be inflamed, do you? Inflammation is the root cause of disease. It's the root cause of metabolic diseases. We don't want those diseases. And you'll say to me, yeah, so cool. Thank you for educating me, but you're not taking away from me my sugar, alcohol, dairy, gluten, meat. And secondarily to those would be like soy, corn, those kinds of foods. No one wants to have all these taken away. Yet, if you have an issue, to give these foods up and replace them with others can be the most powerful thing that you do to heal your body. So that's why I wanted to jump on here and teach about detoxing today, because it's one of the most potent lessons we can use to educate ourselves. You can go and take a food allergy test. You can go to, your doctor and say, what do I give up eating? You can do a lot of things. But if you yourself prove to yourself that there's a food that you shouldn't eat, then your brain will accept it and understand it. They'll remember the punishment and they won't do it again. I'll give you an example. I was in Arizona. I didn't have kids, so it's over a decade ago. And I was with my sister and mom, and we were there for something. I don't even know what. This must have been business or something. And I ate an avocado sandwich. And I remember afterwards being in the car and I was so nauseous. I was like sick to my stomach and I couldn't understand why. And back then I used to get sick a lot after eating and I couldn't understand why. It's because I had poor gut health post antibiotics and I had to fix my own gut. Hence why I do what I do now, because I had to learn all this myself. And I don't want you guys to pay the price and take decades to learn all this like I did. But yes, I ate it and I got so sick. Now, fast forward, last week, it was Halloween. I was at my sister-in-law's house and there was a dip she made and I avoided the avocado, but I still ate the dip. By 9:30, I was so sick to my stomach, I couldn't stay there anymore. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go while I can drive. Something is not right. I don't know what this is. And I couldn't pinpoint it. When you feel sick, you can't actually think straight. So I couldn't understand, like, did I eat something bad or did I eat gluten? I knew something had gone in me that shouldn't have gone in me. So I immediately got home and I made that elixir that I've taught you guys, hing kapani. So hing and purple salt in a tea, drank it, got some relief and just went to bed because I couldn't handle what I had done to my system. But because I'm detoxing right now, when I do start to re-eat foods, I know the lessons I'll get. Even the gluten-free toast I eat is not great for me. My body knows it. Or after detoxing, I was trying veggie burgers from Costco once, and they literally tasted like someone had sprayed Windex on them. Like as I took each bite, I was like, why are they chemical burgers? Like what happened? So I heated up another one and I was like, oh my gosh, like this must have a lot of processed ingredients because my tongue can't even handle eating these anymore. So then I decided I'd never buy those again. I switched brands. But would we have that data or that knowledge if we didn't take the time to detox? No, you wouldn't have it. You would just keep eating what you're eating and it would keep toxifying the body. It would keep causing problems in your body, but you wouldn't have that subtlety and awareness in you that, hey, that thing isn't good. That's not good for me either. That thing tastes like chemicals put in a burger bun. And so that's the beauty of detoxing. It can give you so much knowledge of self, self-awareness of self-awareness of what your gut can handle or not handle, self-awareness of what is actually full of chemicals but being marketed like it's food. And I find that it's so important to do that. And many women are suffering with issues related to inflammation or autoimmune issues. And we're in a year where taking care of our health is more important than ever. We really need to be clean and healthy and vibrant if we're going to deal with what's coming at us. We're also entering the winter season, which is concerning, right? It's cold and flu season coming. And so this time, for the first time, I'm taking it seriously. I'm like, I don't want to catch crazy colds and flus. I would like to stay healthy. Well, the best way to stay healthy is understanding what you can and cannot eat that's good for you, having all the pathways cleared out. Let's talk about the pathways. And then having the immune system healthy and strong and ready. So when something comes, the immune system's like, I'm kicking that out. I don't need that. I'm not taking that virus on. You just go away, right? We want a body that'll do that for us. Now, when it comes to pathways, I think I've taught this. I get confused now on what I've taught in these live classes. But one thing that I teach is we have our immune system. We have our lymphatic system that's trying to every day drain and clean out and clear out whatever it needs to. A lot of that happens when we sleep. The most restorative sleep happens from 10 to 12. We're supposed to sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. 10 to 2 is when the body is having that pitta time of day, or that time of day where it can really clear out things that do not serve. And we want the body to have the 10 to 2. So it means sleep earlier, please, to clear things out. Now, not everyone sleeps perfectly. Not everyone gets restful sleep. Not everyone sleeps on time. Not everyone has a lymphatic system whose pathways are clear enough to clear out the stuff. Then add in inflammation. Many people have inflammation. That inflammation is causing like a traffic jam. The lymphatic system is trying to clear stuff out, and you have these points in the body where you're gridlocked. The gridlock means the lymphatic system and the body are distracted. They're over here fighting and stuck in traffic. Here comes little virus, plants itself. Ow, that hurt. Here comes the next little virus, plants itself. Your system's over here traffic jammed when it should be right here on defense, ready, protecting you. So what are you doing to have a system that's protecting you? Are you taking great supplements like turmeric gold and all the supplements I talk about? Are you eating clean and well? Are you eating the right foods for your body so you're not constantly causing the traffic jam? That's where doing a detox can be so powerful. And so I really invite you to look at detoxification as a ritual and a pathway and a investment in your health that you choose to do because you know that it's so important. Now, I know the holidays is like the hardest time to do it because all the time, I don't know about you guys, but my social media is like pumpkin spice latte and apple crumble and all these things. And I'm like, those foods, what I tell myself during a detox, I literally say, those foods are there year round. If you would like to have the food, in 2 weeks, you have it. But you don't need it now just because Thanksgiving is coming. You don't need it now because Christmas is coming. You may have it anytime. It's not like food is not available year round. I know right now you want to get the hot chocolate. I have a thing where I get hot chocolate and go walk the mall and see the stores. I'm like, okay, change it out for cinnamon tea. Do what serves your body. You cannot harm or trash your immune system in a year like this. You have to constantly be vigilant and support the immune system. And so I invite you to use the same tools. I have tons of tools to help you get through a detox because I've done it so many times. My whole passion in life has been to go to detox centers around the world since college because I had to fix my own body and fix my own gut. So I went to all the top detox centers. I know what they all do. But I also know the tools that you need mentally to help you get through that time period. It's not easy, but it takes resolve. It takes, sometimes it takes a group, honestly. It takes accountability. It takes someone else doing it and knowing, hey, my buddy's doing it, I'm going to do it too. And I'm going to stick to it because my buddy's in it with me. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions about detoxing. I know that you guys are in here commenting, sharing, but it's so important that we look at the foods we're eating. And let's say pineapple was a food that was like an offender for you. Try it again one day, post-detox, but organic. Maybe it was the pesticides or processing of this company that wasn't suitable, but by this company or in this format, it's better. And if it's not, then give it up. I've given up pineapple, not eating it ever again. I don't need it. Loved it, cool, had it, doesn't suit me. Avocado, same category. Gluten, same category. And then really figure out if you can permanently give up some of these foods. Once you know the truth of the food, can you give it up forever? Whether it's meat, whether it's alcohol, whether it's sugar, whether it's MSG, whether it's soy, whether it's corn. There's so many foods that just don't suit us. In the Fusionary Method program right now, I have a lot of ladies, and I just did a talk on the spices that help us digest foods better. So I don't want everyone to just give up all the foods, right? I'd rather you have spices and tools and elixirs that help you digest the foods, and we just improve the digestion to handle certain foods. But on the same note, we all have different bodies, and there is that possibility of having foods that don't suit us. And I find the detox is truly the best way to get there. So I hope you enjoyed my talk on detoxification today. It is by far one of my favorite tools for vibrant health and vibrant immunity. To commit to a detox, I know it's a big deal. So just know that in January, if you're ready, I'm ready to hold your hand and we're going to get through it together. But it's the way that we erase a lot of what happened in this year. This year, March, April was insanely stressful. I know that that stress planted itself in my body. This year, as we watched other things unfold, stress. During the time that we were stressed, I was having wine and cheese, inflammation in the system. During the course of the year, you might have gained weight and gotten more and more inflamed, because once you open those doors to that comfort food and all that, it's hard to slam those doors shut. Then you might have had poor sleep. People are having horrific sleep this year. They're all calling me for deep sleep tea and deep sleep formula because they need the sleep, and I get that. But when you have poor sleep, we're not supporting the inflammation reduction of our body or the lymphatic system to clear. So poor sleep in 2020 is bad for us. Stress, inflammation, sleep, sugar, all these things. And so a detox is really the best way to clean it out. It's like decluttering and cleaning out your house. You got to do it every year. Detoxification is the exact same thing. But in this case, if we don't do it, then all those toxins are going to accumulate. All that inflammation is going to accumulate, and all that traffic jam is going to happen. You imagine what comes from that. Not good things. Not good things. And so I invite all of you, if you're capable now, if you're able, I should say, do a detox now. If not, find another week in this year and give that gift to yourself. And if it's tough, I get it. Come join me. We'll do it together. I love detoxing. So I wish you guys well. Be healthy. I hope you guys enjoy this holiday season. I'll be seeing you here nearly every Wednesday teaching on a new topic. And I can't wait to see you guys for the next one. See you soon. Bye, guys.